What makes for a great year? And I think you could apply that question also to a single day. What makes for a great day for you right now and here? And you can also apply the question to a whole year. Well, I said that. To your whole lifetime. So what makes for a great life for living fully, wholeheartedly, and open? There are two things I believe are very, very important for each and every one of us. The one part is remain curious and open and searching, having a vision, something that draws you, something that your heart beats higher for, where you feel like, yeah, that matters, that makes a difference, it really is worth investing myself into that. So the vision, the curiosity, all of that. The second part that it takes is guts, grit, determination. Because you may have the biggest dream, you can be on the sofa and hope for it to become real. It's not going to happen. There is the Jewish saying, what you need is humility and chutzpah. So it's kind of, we need a dream, we need some focus, some guidance, but then get up and get going and reach for it. Get moving in the right direction. That's what it takes. So for me, this dream, this vision, I'm fascinated by science and by spirituality. Like, you have seen the pictures from the new Charles Webb Space Telescope. They show us an area of the universe never any one of us has dreamed of or seen or even could imagine. So it is at the boundary, opening up a new vision, a new space, a new area for all of us to see and to explore. And I think in that way, just opening up, being curious, like children, I deeply believe there is something when Jesus says, let the children come to me. He also meant remain curious and open like the children to explore new things. Don't just be set and stuck in your rut. Someone said the difference in between a rut and the grave is only the depth. I know, that's putting it in the extreme. But the other day I sat together over lunch with my colleagues, the ministerium, and we had invited our county commissioners. And I sat right across from Joe Kantz. And Joe looked at me and I looked at Joe. And Joe said, thank you for your card. And you remember that his dad died in a farming accident. And at that point, I could have said something. I did not say anything, but in that gaze, in looking, he teared up. And I felt like every single word I would say would not be able to capture the moment. There was a connection, a depth, something you cannot capture. And that's what I think. That's not the science part. That's the heart, the soul, the spirituality part. When you're together and you realize the richness, the mystery, the wonder of what it means to be deeply connected, heart to heart, soul to soul. Sometimes the most important thing one can do is just be present. So, my resolutions for the year, as I said, on one hand, remaining curious. On the other hand, the courage, the determination, the kind of pushing forward, not giving up, and living at the edge. And I think why this matters. Your edge is in a different place than my edge. I know where my edge is. My edge is at where I feel comfortable enough, but where I'm invited to expand my realm of comfortable toward going a little bit to the realm of feeling uncomfortable. The level to which you grow spiritually happens to the degree you're willing to become uncomfortable. It really matters. The level to which you will grow, spiritually mature, whatever you call it, happens to the degree you're willing to become uncomfortable. Get out of your comfort zone, to live at the edge. What is the new thing? What am I called to? To what am I drawn? What am I to explore? What is it where I'm asked to be courageous? Now, courage, it's not the absence of fear. Someone said courage is fear that said its prayers and does it anyway. What is it you will do anyway, even though you feel, I don't want to touch that, it's a hot potato, don't mention it, just walk on eggshells, don't just, I got burned in that part, so just stay away from it. Where are you willing to move a little bit closer to the edge and try a new thing? Follow the vision. Just let it draw you and follow it. And that's what I think the Star of Bethlehem is about. You see the star there, you see the stars all over the sanctuary, you see them on the Christmas tree, and they're a symbol representing the Star of Bethlehem that the Magi, the wise ones, the three kings, whatever we call them, had as their guiding light, as something that drew them. Now, they could have just again leaned back and say, wow, what a beautiful star. They didn't leave it at that. They just got up and they moved from country to country, from culture to culture, an arduous journey to make it to the promised land, to encounter the living Christ child. They had grit. They had guts. They put in blood, sweat, and tears. And that's what it's required too, my friends. You can have the great dream, but if you don't lean into it, if you don't do it, it's not going to happen. I like this saying someone told me. You know, God can move mountains, but don't forget the shovel. Or this one, next to the miracle, the next best thing to a miracle is a great plan. To actually walk and do and invest and move toward it. So that's how I read and how I understand the Old Testament scripture reading. It starts with, arise and shine. So it means arise, get up, get moving. And sometimes we don't feel like moving. Sometimes we may be in pain. Sometimes we may feel down. Sometimes we may feel like giving up. We're just, But you do it anyway, my friends. Imagine the great dream of Martin Luther King Jr. I dream that people will be judged not by the color of their skin, by the content of their character. He dreams of the beloved community of equality. He has that great dream, the greatest speech of the last century, I believe. Now, do you think sometimes he felt like not getting up afterwards for the marches, the protests? I believe so. We all have days when we feel down, when we're just, But did he get up and move and live into the dream and step into it? Sure he did. So sometimes we don't feel like it. But do we get up anyway? And we know that body, spirit, mind, and soul are connected. So when my soul is hurting, when I feel down, when I'm exhausted, when I feel like throwing up my hands and think like, I'm done, I can't take it anymore, the next best thing I can do is go for a walk. There is an old wisdom, a Latin saying that says, solvitur ambulando. Things solve or get solved or find a solution while and when you walk. It just often doesn't fall in your lap. It takes like dwelling, mulling it over, walking. To some people, the greatest ideas, the best ways to figure things out come when they take a shower. It's almost like, and there is some new insight, some just, wow, a freedom and openness, and then some things get solved, or you can sleep over them. I know what started as a small vision, a small dream in me one time is when a friend of mine said, oh, I ran this marathon, Dietmar. I said, a marathon? Well, that sounds big. Really was big. And you don't just get up from the couch and run a marathon. It just doesn't work that way, So I started running on the Isle of Kew, and my first running was like running a little bit and then walking. And then running again and then walking. Well, I added to it, and then ran 2 long runs before the marathon, and my friend told me only afterwards, I think you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't make it. I'm glad he told me that afterwards, not before. So I ran a marathon. It was both. It was exhilarating. It was also, oh my gosh, how crazy must you be to run a marathon? It was both in one. But there was this dream, there was this vision, there was the guiding light, the wow towards which I stretched myself. And then it was like, yeah, you got to get up and run and work towards. It doesn't just happen. So my question to you is, what is that guiding vision, that light, like the Star of Bethlehem for the Magi, the wise ones? What is that is so important that it makes your heart beat a little bit faster because it matters, it makes a difference? What makes you come fully alive? As Howard Thurman, he was the mentor of Martin Luther King Jr., he said, don't just ask what the world needs. The needs in the world are there and they're important, but ask what makes you come fully alive. Because what the world needs are people who are fully alive. So what is it that makes you come alive? What really matters to you? And the second part to that is, are you willing to be in it? Get up when you don't feel like it. Invest blood, sweat, and tears to move toward it. My friends, I think that's what it takes to make for a great year, for a great day, and for a great life. The vision, the dream, the curiosity, keep it alive. And are you in it?